Hello everyone, let's discuss today's The Hindu editorial page. The first article is A Census for a New Deal. In this article, the writer says that caste and religion have been the master cleavages of Indian politics for most of the last century. The caste survey, released by the Bihar government with coordinated support from the entire opposition, can be described as a Proustian political move. It tries to construct a new political opening through the instrument of an old paradigm. This unfurling of the contesting flags of caste and religious identity gives the first clear shape to the ideological contours of the 2024 general elections. It also strongly reinforces the role of these two ethnic identity constructions as the fundamental pillars of political mobilization. Mandir Politics 2.0 is a new synthesization of a class politics in the familiar trappings of caste. The majority coalition assembled by Prime Minister Narendra Modi was rooted in a novel political constituency formed with the post-liberalization expansion of the middle class. The leadership of Mr. Modi, for the middle class, promised a firm institutionalization of their dominant norms on state intervention, material consumption, and ethno-political pride. While middle-class anxieties and aspirations have long been a key driver of Hindu nationalist mobilization, their concrete ideological fusion under Mr. Modi's charismatic appeal has shaped the present political era. The Bihar Caste Survey inaugurates not the reenaction of the old Mandal politics of narrow caste-based patronage, but the coming of age of a subordinate class-based politics. This is also Mandal 2.0. This is a new synthesization of a class politics in the familiar trappings of caste. Primarily, it seeks to tap into the frustrated and deeply felt desire held by large sections of the precariat to achieve middle-class status. Such a status constitutes both an economic marker and a precious social status symbol. This precariat is roughly one half of the country, which finds itself sandwiched between the poor and the middle class. They have been facing a stagnant trend of upward mobility inside an informal economy, which offers little substantial protections. An estimated 75 million people, according to the Pew Research Center, slipped back into poverty during the COVID-19 pandemic. The bulk of this precariat, which can be found in rural and urban India across occupations, is composed of lower other backward classes, OBCs, Dalits and Muslims. In their book Beyond Consumption, India's New Middle Class in the Neoliberal Times, Manish Keja and Pushpendra chart the composition of the middle class in terms of different caste groups. In fact, 5% of upper castes fall in the upper middle class segment, compared to 3% of OBCs and 1.4% of Dalits. These variations are significant and sharpen pyramidically. Gaps are also starker in the Hindi belt states of Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, where upper castes are more likely to be displaced by lower castes. The next article is Tightrope Walk. By not raising interest rates, RBI betrays its concerns about slowing growth. In this article, the writer says that the Reserve Bank of India's RBI Monetary Policy Committee, MPC, has decided to leave interest rates unchanged, despite warnings from the central bank about the risk of high inflation posing to macroeconomic stability. The MPC raised its projection for average second quarter inflation by 20 basis points, from 6.2% to 6.4%, despite the fact that the headline number needs to slow down drastically to less than 5% in September for the RBI's prognosis to be validated. The MPC hopes that the recent reduction in domestic LPG prices and a lowering of vegetable prices will provide some near-term response to price pressures. The RBI's unwillingness to raise interest rates further, while reiterating the threat to overall economic stability from unmoored inflation expectations, indicates an unstatified concern that the growth momentum remains tenuous. The recent debate on the integrity of the NSO's data on economic growth estimates and concerns over India's GDP growth outlook for the current fiscal year are seen as key risks.